Mr. Zubair, can we start the session?
Yes, hi, good morning, everyone.
Okay, so I think we can start since it's already 11:02. A very good morning to everyone. Welcome to this webinar sessions. I'm Dr. Serene, and together with me, we have Dr. Woon, Leong today. We are the senior lecturers from Taylor's Business School, who will be served as the moderator for these sessions. Today, we are very honored to have our alumnus, Mr. Zubair, a finance director in Tru Group, Bangladesh, to share with us the role of Nextgen in driving green innovation in a second-generation family business. Before we begin the session, let me just introduce our speakers today. Mr. Zubair was born and raised in Dhaka, Bangladesh. He has completed Ontario Secondary School Diploma from Taylor's College and achieved dual award degree in Bachelor of Accounting and Finance from Taylor's University, Malaysia, and University of the West of England. Previously, he worked as a business development consultant in CT Events Asia, Kuala Lumpur, and currently he is the finance director in Tru Group, Bangladesh. It is a positive, self-confident, agile, and purpose-driven communicator, a person with a logical and analytical goal-oriented mind, highly motivated team players with exceptional leadership and managerial skills, achieved by organizing multiple corporate events. He acquired various types of accounting problem-solving skills through incompetence caused during accounts and finance management process. Today, he will share with us his experience of driving green innovation as the next gen, focus on decision points and strategies for balancing family needs and environmental concerns. So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Zubair for his sharing. Mr. Zubair, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Serene, and thank you, Dr. Leong. And also, I would like to thank Dr. Faranita. She's not here, but for organizing such event. Because I think this is a very unique event, which we don't always find in while we started even in Taylor's. And like I'm calling this webinar unique because it will increase our knowledge regarding family business dynamics, and also how as next generation we are implementing green innovation in the current business world. And I feel that this webinar is also unique because like the students will also learn how to contribute and in the growth potential of a family business, and how to contribute further in sustainability that align with eventually the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So before I jump into the sustainability, I'd like to give a brief history about my company. Is that okay? Okay, yeah. So we actually, our history of the company, the name of the company is Tru Group. Tru Group, under Tru Group, there is actually two industries. One of them is Unifil Textile Mills Limited, and one is Tru Fabrics Limited. So what we do is like basically we produce fabrics for the global economy. And we started my father actually started this journey in 1987. And he used to actually import suiting fabrics from Japan and from China, and he used to sell it in the local market. So soon after he started importing suiting fabrics to the local retailers, it actually the demand actually increased. And in 1987, he acquired a textile mill, which actually produced the raw fabrics. And with that factory, he was able to export to European market. And also he got the tender from my country to, procure to production the army and the police uniforms. So this is how actually he started his journey, and it continued. And it was actually mostly like man-made, and you could say the human capital based factory. But when the next generation came, like what we did actually in 2018, we have established a modern dyeing factory, which takes these raw fabrics to new industry, and it actually dyes and it color the fabric. So what we did is like we came out from that human capital intensive industry to machine intensive industry with innovative European spec machineries. And we were really focused into green innovation, which I will be discussing with you guys soon. Yeah. So before we talk about green innovation and like my business, I would like to introduce the key actors. So this is Mr. M. Bashar. He's my father and he's the chairman. He's directing the company, and he's the first generation who actually started all this textile industry business. Yeah. And following that, I have two more siblings, as you can see. Both of them are directors, and three of us are actually taking care of the business right now. Yeah. So just now we were saying that we have two separate industries, right? So as you can see that how we produce it, like weaving industry is like the first photo you can see on the left corner. So this weaving industry actually, take the raw yarn. So basically there is spinning mills. They buy cotton from spinners, from cotton field. And these spinners, they actually make yarn. So we buy yarn from them, raw yarn from them. And in our weaving unit, we produce that raw yarn. And after that, it go to the next process, like dyeing unit. As you can see, the blue fabric that is coming out from the machine. So this dyeing unit, and there is printing session. So in this dyeing unit, we colored the raw fabric, because when you produce the raw fabric, it's actually in a form that you cannot wear it. So you need to go through other processes to make it wearable. And after that, we send it to the garments, and these garments directly export to the retail shops. So in garments, what we do, we don't have garments, but what they do is like they, the tailor, how they sew the shirt and pant. So in that way, the garments are the direct exporter of the fabric. Yeah. So these are our clients currently. As you can see, we have spread our business in Europe, United States, Oceania, and Middle East. And I think you guys know a lot of brands here, which is actually available in Malaysia. And also, I think if you guys go to Dubai and like in Middle Eastern country, you will find these kind of brands. Yeah, so these are more like there is slow fashion brands and there is fast fashion brands, and I'll give you guys a brief difference between what is the difference between slow fashion and the fast fashion industries. So as you can see in this slide, I have put it's a few information for you guys. So fast fashion industry and like fashion industry and like the sustainability, they're two different things. So how it is different is because slow fashion is sustainable. For instance, if you think about, if you go back to the brands that are expensive, for example, and we buy it, for example, with higher amount of money, it's not necessary it has to be very expensive. If you go 10 years or 15 years earlier, for example, our fathers or uncle, they used to buy shirts or pants that is still in their wardrobe. But however, in our generation, you could see that we are going to a shop, we are buying a new shirt, and after washing it for maybe 10 times, the color is fading. So, and we're throwing it. So that is actually what is happening in fast fashion industry. So for example, you're going to H&M, we're buying it, and to be honest, after 1 year or after 1.5 years, we are not wearing that pant anymore. But if I open the wardrobe of my father, he bought one shirt of, for example, Hugo Boss, and he's been wearing it for last 10 years or 11 years, and the shirt is still the same. So it shows that shirt were made of sustainable materials. And what happening after this fast fashion attire we are throwing, you can see I have put this photo. It's like Chile's desert dumping ground for the fast fashion leftovers covered by Al Jazeera. So this is actually a desert full of the dump that we are actually making in our lives. So what they do, they burn this dump, and it actually contribute to the carbon emission. It actually contribute to the global warming. So you can see that there are brands that is coming up with, for example, what do you call it? Things like, for example, Levi's, they have came with buy better campaigns like wear longer, which means you buy better things and you wear it for the longer time, which means they're also focused in producing sustainable clothes, sustainable fabrics, and we are, as suppliers of their goods, as manufacturer of their goods, we have also the same sort of goal to produce this sustainable material to them if the demand increase. So this is the reason I'm actually telling you guys the difference between the slow fashion and the fast fashion, because it is also, as consumers, it is also our duty to understand what we are buying, why we are buying it, and how this little step that, okay, I will buy a sustainable material will contribute to this change, this green innovation, right? I hope I was able to explain you guys about the difference of slow fashion and fast fashion. Yeah. Okay, so that's actually I think important for input. That was important for me. And also before I want to give you guys a brief. I have gathered some knowledge regarding the family businesses in the world. So as you can see, you know, a lot of family firms owned in Malaysia, also around the world, they are the biggest contributors of economy in the whole world. So approximately more than 65% of world's workforce are working under the family business. And it's more than like 70% of global GDP, you can say, is earned by them. And we know, I think, multiple of family business, oldest family firms that are lasting for example, 300 years. For example, I think you guys know the logistics supplier like Marx. They have been sustaining for 300 years. And so we can see the vastness of family-owned business and how this family-owned business can actually contribute to a better change, because the amount of workforce they're working with, the amount of GDP they are contributing to the economy, it is coming from their industry, from the business they're owning. So if they change, if they drive for a better change regarding green innovation, I think they can contribute a lot. So that will be our focus for this session, like how as family business we can actually contribute to the green innovation and how we did it. Yeah. So I think Dr. Serene, that is like introduction that I could give regarding my industry. And if you guys want to ask and want to listen, since it's a forum dialogue session, I think we can listen to the questions from you, and like I can try to relate it to the topic.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Zubair, for the introductions of the company, to let us know about the nature of your business and how it actually relates to the fast fashion. I actually gained some knowledge on fast fashion. To my surprise, it's actually a bit a bit worrying to see there are so many terms about the fashions or the clothings. But I would also want to know more about sustainability. Before we go into that section, perhaps we can open the floors to the audience.
Okay.
To the audience, do you have any questions or inquiries about the business or anything related to fast fashions? You can unmute yourself to ask, or maybe you can put in the chat. I can help you to read out. Anyone?
Yeah, anyone got questions? Okay, I think I have one question, Mr. Zubair. Okay, very good, very interesting, and to me, it's a very important industry nowadays. I think without industry, we won't be anything. Okay, because the contribution to the world, I think, is very significant. Okay, so my question is about seeing you are running business as a family. So what is the major obstacle or challenge for your three siblings that work together?
Okay. It's a very interesting question. A lot of people ask me that question, and like to be honest, there is so much to learn from a family business, and definitely there is obstacles every day. Even just you can keep apart the family business. Even in the family, between siblings, there is sometimes there is arguments, there is different wish of someone wants to, for example, implement a new system in the company, and the other siblings, they're not actually agreeing with it. These are the common obstacles we have, but how we overcome it, that is important. It starts with respect and love for a family member and being professional about it. So for example, how we learned it from the elder generation is like, I saw my elder brother is always respecting my father's decision. Even when my father is deciding something that is not going with his choice, he is, dealing it with full of respect, and he is actually dealing it professionally. For instance, if he needs to introduce a new thing which my father don't like, he actually tells him with kindness, and he shows him actually the results. For example, if he implements it, how can it contribute to the company? How can it enhance the betterment of the company? And he sometimes what we do, and if in my cases, for example, when I joined the company, I joined as a account and finance director. So I had the responsibility to take care of, for example, the audit reports, the financial reports, daily reporting system, and for example, the store management, how in the factories, and for example, the inventory management of the factories. So when I joined the company, I didn't actually know where to start. And if, for example, whenever you join a family business, my rule is you need to empty your cup. Meanings, your cup shouldn't be full of knowledge that you are going to a company, you're joining a family business, and you are taking nothing from the family members. You have to empty your cup, which means whenever you join the company, you have to listen to the elders, like how they run the company, how they runs the company, because this company is established company, right? So what I did, I actually, we call it like the relationship between a teacher and a student. Similarly, when you join the family business, you need to respect the decisions of the elders. This way, you will be able to nurture yourself, and you will be able to overcome the obstacles. You have to share it with the family. Okay, in my position, I'm facing these challenges. what can I do? Then maybe they will give you a expertise, or if they have the capability, they will actually show you how to overcome these obstacles. And definitely I would say, setting small milestones and showing the family members, okay, look, I achieved it. My milestone for this week was, changing the storekeeping method, and I have implemented it, and let's see 1 month or next 2 months if the results comes good. And when the results comes out, you need to show it to the family members that, look, this was my first milestone and I achieved it. Then this way they will, their confidence will increase, and whenever these obstacles comes, they can rely on you that he can overcome it. Yeah, this way I think I did it, and like it works. Yeah.
Very good sharings. Okay, I think we have questions from the chat box from Dr. Lau. Okay, I will read it out. Okay, we are experiencing boom in e-business with ease of purchasing clothes online. Will this be a challenge in promoting slow fashions? How do you address this? Thanks.
Okay, so will this be a challenge in promoting slow fashion? Okay, so thank you for your question, Dr. Lau. And it's true that nowadays, even after COVID, even during the COVID, we have seen in my country, actually, in Malaysia, I used to buy online clothing even before the COVID, because your country has developed in that way. But in my country, for example, especially during the COVID time, lots of these online pages came out, and I have seen like our sisters from home, even in like 12 a.m. at night, they're waiting for a live session of, the models. They're coming with the new collections, and they're buying it right away from the Facebook pages. Okay, so it is actually true that this e-business will be a challenge for promoting slow fashion industry, but we can actually use this tool as a great marketing tool for slow fashion industries. So for example, when in my country, we have a online shop called Daras. Okay, so when I tap into the Daras, okay, in Malaysia, we used which online platform at the most of the time? Shopee. We have Shopee, right, in Malaysia, right? So for example, when you enter the Shopee, there are some campaigns that always go on, right? So if these ethical suppliers of these companies, they come up with campaigns like by contributing to the slow fashion industry, and you are getting discounts for it, and you are getting good fabric for it, putting the measures, putting the effect of buying this, and how you are contributing to the sustainable goods, I think lots of people will have the knowledge about slow fashion and the fast fashion, right? But I agree with Dr. Lau that it is definitely it is a big challenge, because in online the purchase is more faster than the physically. When we go to a shop, we check the quality, we check the labels, and if there is any certifications or sustainable certifications on the logo that the company is doing. So I think in that way, slow fashion industry will be a big challenge for the online purchasing, as in the online, but it is also a great tool to promote it, that I would say, that will reach to the people faster than the physical shops. Yeah, thank you. Dr. Lin, we cannot hear you.
Sorry. Okay, I think we have another question, if I'm not mistaken, from the chat box from Jin Che. Okay, good stuff, Zubair. Okay, I love how the companies is adopting the concept of circular economic. Would be interesting to hear the drivers for internal stakeholder to adopt such idea, considering many views sustainability ESG from either a risk mitigation perspective or the risk of being labeled as a greenwashing company. How do you demonstrate the huge upside and value creation to adopt such change? Zubair.
Yeah, thank you, Jingji, for your question. Thank you for loving the concept we are actually in right now. To be honest, as internal stakeholders, to adopt this idea is very challenging because it's costly. And for example, when you take the investment from your partner banks or the financial institutions, it comes with risk, because if you think about the context of our economy, not a lot of people actually invest in green innovative industries because they fear that within short time of period, since they have short-term goal, they don't have long-term goals like the sustainable companies they do have, like we have, like for example 20 years plan, 20 years long plan, or 15 years long plan. But what they do, they have 5 years long plan or 7 years long plan, that they want to take small investment, they don't want to invest in green innovation, and they want quick returns from the investment, right? So the perspective of the stakeholders, those who are actually contributing to the green innovation, is quite different, you know. So for example, some of them in our country, as we are one of the largest producer of textile manufacturing companies, so I will give you guys most of the examples from our industries, right? I think it will more related, you can relate it to it. So for instance, there are companies which are telling people that we have taken green initiatives, but when you go to the factory, when you work with them, you don't see the certifications. You don't see you see certifications from companies that are not, for example, backed by international firms, that is not supported by UN SDC goal, right? So what happens? These people are actually labeling that they are driving for green innovation, but on the other hand, they're taking certifications from the firms who are actually false. They are actually not taking the parameters. For example, you are giving them the extra money for a false audit. They will do the audit and they will give you the certifications, right? So this is very dangerous. Definitely, this is very dangerous, who label them as green innovation. But on the other hand, you will see that the world is growing so fast. These brands are so much experienced that these people are very talented. The good brands, they will not work with these companies. They will never work with this industry, because now the challenges of the global warming, the challenges the people are seeing regarding the global economy has reached that point that lots of researchers have came to catch the firms that are actually doing these false audits. So this way you can actually relate. So for example, when you study about a company and they're telling you that okay, we have taken these green initiatives, when you look at his suppliers and when you look at his customers, you will find actually what kind of brands they're actually capturing. That way you can understand, like okay, they are going for slow fashion industry or they're going for fast fashion industry. For example, even those people, for example, I'm telling that, okay, I'm focused in slow fashion industry, but to be honest, my work or my business will increase it, and it is completely relating to the demand of my customers. So for example, I'm providing it to the H&M, and I also gave you guys the example that, okay, when we buy from H&M, after 1 year, we see our pant is fading or our shirt is fading, right? So what is happening is we are also providing the slow fashion clothing to them. It is because of the demand that is actually increasing from European market or from Asian market. And H&M is placing the order because when you go to H&M, you will also find sustainable clothing, and people are not buying it because it is expensive for them. And this way, the demand is not increasing. I think I'm explaining you guys in the right way, right? So this way, I think the huge upside of this greenwashing can be stopped if we as consumers, we focus into it. If suppliers, they think ethical, that I will do business with the companies that has ethical approaches. If, for example, as manufacturers, we work with the brands that actually working for the sustainability, that has proven success, that in past 5 years or in past 4 years, they have produced this amount of sustainable fabrics or sustainable products for the economy. Thank you so much for the question.
Thank you, Zubair. Okay, talking about the greenwashing issue. Okay, nowadays I think because of survival, a lot of companies are trying their best to show they are the one of the company who practice green practices or sustainability practices. Okay, since Zubair, you are the big corporations. Okay, I think you did invest a lot of money on sustainability. Just telling me the truth, worth or not worth for doing this?
Sorry, Jal?
Worthwhile to invest in sustainability or not?
Oh, okay. Whether should we invest it or not? Okay. 100% you have to, because if you think about like what are the things that is contributing to the, for example, powerful greenhouse gases, for example, right? So for example, this thing is like, so the sunlight and this heat cause plastic to release, for example, powerful greenhouse gases, and which is leading an alarming feedback on our feedback loop. And what is happening is as our climate changes, the planet gets hotter, and the plastic breaks down into, for example, more like methane and ethylene, and increasing the rate of climate change. And also what they're doing is perpetuating the cycle. So for example, in my company, if we didn't have the green initiatives, for example, we have a green initiative that we don't want to only produce fabrics from cotton. We also want to produce fabric from plastic. Why do we want to do it? Because we want to contribute to this greenhouse gas emissions. That plastic, we are actually, we have taken steps. That plastic, we are transforming it to polyester yarn. And after that, we are producing a shirt or a pant, which is actually not contributing to the carbon gas emissions. You understand? So for example, in past 2 years, we have produced more than 3 million yards of polyester fabric, right? So in this way, think about it. If all the companies, if for example, not all the companies, if most of the companies come up with development of renewable energies, for example, energy sources like, for example, solar system in your company, or like rainwater harvesting in your company. Water is one of the biggest challenges in the whole world. The way we are consuming it, I think, and we are releasing the water with the harmful hazardous substantial, I think this is a very risky thing. So for example, if we didn't have the green innovation in our factory, we would have unable to reprocess the water, the hazardous water. We would have unable for example, to reuse the water. Because if you don't process the water and if you release it to the, to your country, to the landfills or to the rivers, if you release it to the rivers, all the fish and the sea creatures that have, the river creatures that have, they will die. And if you release it in the landfills, farmers won't be able to grow their plantation anymore in that land. So it is that dangerous, that chemical and the color we actually mix with the water to dye and print our fabrics, right? So this is from my perspective in my industry. 100, I said 100, but it's 110%. I'm sure that you need green innovation in your factory. Okay. You need it. Definitely we need it. Because this way we can contribute to a better change. And a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs will learn, okay, how can we grow slow, but definitely to reach a point whereby we are not harming the society. People are caring about us, just how we are caring about them and the environment. Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Zubair, about the sharing on this, about your process and all. We received a comment from Ong Jin Jie, stated as, yes, it's really about reducing your operational costs and mitigating your impacts to the climate at the same time. Totally doable with the right initiative. So before we move on to other questions or other inquiry, perhaps Mr. Zubair, you can share us some of your process in the factories. Do you mind to do that?
All right, we can do that.
Yeah, so that we know exactly what kind of green initiative are actually in your industry to help us understand the context. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So firstly, this is one of the green initiatives we have taken in 2019. Actually, this new factory, we have built this new factory. So between 2020 and 2021, we have produced more than 3 million meters of fabric using the plastic materials. Okay, so the plastic materials, it means from the garbage, from the plastics that we find in the garbage, we have collected it, and we were able to produce we were able to actually process it through a company, and they gave us the yarn that we need to manufacture the clothes. So for example, you guys can see that there is plastic bottle caps and plastic bottles, and what is polyester. Let me explain it to you guys. So basically, polyester cotton, it comes from, for example, the bottles. So we break into it and it becomes flakes. Then after, this flakes is used to produce the yarn. Then this yarn, the similar way we produce the raw fabrics of cotton, we produce this, polyester fabric, which I think a lot of you guys also know, and you guys also wearing, but I don't know if you guys have noticed it or not. When you buy your product, if you go check the tag, you will see, okay, 30% cotton, 70% polyester, which means this fabric, this shirt was made of a mix of cotton. The 30% cotton is there and 70% of polyester cotton is there, okay, which is also made from polyester. For example, the jackets we are wearing these days, the raincoats we are wearing these days, that is made of polyester cotton. Yeah. Okay. So then we actually, another initiative is zero discharge of hazardous chemical. So what we are doing, just a little bit ago, we explained with you guys that there are chemicals that has substances which, when you actually release these chemicals to the landfill or in the water, it is actually drastically changes the natural forms of the water, and it kills the creatures that is within that river or that pond, or actually in the landfills. It will actually deform the quality of the land, whereby you won't be able to grow any more, for example, plantation in that land. Okay, so this zero discharge chemicals policy gateway, we have been implementing it since actually the inception of the company, as you can see, in 2019. And after, for example, we actually reuse, and we through a plant, I will show you, through a plant, we actually reprocess the water, and a lot of waste, dry waste, come out from that water. So what we do, we actually give this wastage to a third party, and they are actually licensed third party who actually take this waste and they put it somewhere, or they have their own way of dealing with that waste base. So one of the environmental initiatives we have taken is this effluent treatment plant in our factory. So let me tell you guys, this is a very expensive investment. Okay, so for example, this plant has taken 30%, more than 30% of my investment. Okay, so for instance, it's if it is my company was invested in like 300 million is the investment, and almost 1/3 of this investment has gone to this biological plant. So this plant, we call it in short form, we call it ETP. It is well renowned in garments, in RMG sector, which means ready-made garment sector. So this effluent treatment plant, what they do, the chemical and the dyes that you mix with the water to produce your fabric, the water is released from those machines. This water directly comes to this chemical chamber, this ETP chamber, and there is bacteria that we actually create, and this bacteria eat those harmful substances in the water, and then we release it to the river, or release it to where the government has permitted us to yeah. So another initiatives we have taken regarding this green initiative is this condensate recovery system. So basically, there are heat that is produced, and it require with this heat, we transform water into steam, right? And there is this heat vaporization. It releases condenses. This condensate we preserve, and we actually reuse it, and we recover this condensate so that we use the fossil fuel less than what we're doing right now. Yeah. Okay, and there is caustic recovery plant. So moisturizing is one of the process in our dyeing industry, which takes place, and which use caustic soda. Okay, so this caustic soda, we use it in large quantities. Okay, and this caustic soda, actually, when you use large amount of it, we have a CRP plant, we have a caustic recovery plant that recover some of this waste, and they again produce the caustic. So this way we are actually recovering the direct one of the materials that is used in our machines, and we are reusing it. So 3R policy, like reuse, and recycle, and which the reuse, recycle, and what was that? The 3R, right? So we first use it, we reuse it, and with the recycle process, we again produce this concentrated caustic soda. Okay. Then we have implemented rainwater harvesting. Currently, what we have implemented, it is actually not serving the whole factory, which is impossible, because in my country, for example, in Malaysia, the season is like that you can get a lot of rainwater. But in my country, we have 6 seasons, and only there is one season for 2 months or 3 months, which is the rainy season. So in that time, we harvest rainwater, and we actually take it to a filtration system to our water tank, and after that, it is a separate water tank that actually release the water to the toilets, to car washing, and for example, and one of the sources, like for the gardening, and there is a washing plant. We also use some of the water in that washing plant. All right, so we have heat exchangers. You know, this kind of industry, they produce lots of heat, which is actually contribute to the global warming process. So we have heat exchangers, like all of our steam consuming machinery have these heat exchangers, because we have selected our machines from Germany, from like Belgium, from France, okay, from Italy. So these machineries have their, we try to find out the machineries that have this inbuilt heat exchangers that is actually saving a lot of fossil fuel by reusing this heat. Yeah. And EGP, I think this is way too much for you guys, because you guys maybe you are unable to relate it, but definitely if you enter to this industry, you guys will know a lot of these stuffs, because a lot of investment goes to the machineries. So this kind of tools is important for this green initiative change. So this EGB, we actually installed it in our gas boiler, so which is saving our gas that we naturally get, and also it is releasing less temperature to the nature. Yeah. And I think there is one more thing which is most important, which is the direct material we are buying, right, from the suppliers. So we actually what we're buying is like the natural dyes. If you can show us the video, I think students will get a better idea like where this natural dyes is coming from.
Okay, give me a minute. Do you see the video right now? Share again.
Okay, so I hope it gave you guys a little bit insights about what is natural dyes, and from the synthetic dyes to we are actually using the natural forms of colors and natural forms of dyes, so that it actually contributes more to the green innovation. Yes, thank you. So these are the certifications that I wanted to show you guys, because you might see this in when you buy sustainable materials, when you buy sustainable clothing. You guys can check whether the suppliers or the brands, they're having these certifications or not. If the brands show these certifications in the tag, which means it is actually coming from sustainable companies, those who have taken green initiatives. Okay, so this is the main reason I actually wanted to show you guys. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zubair. Just now when I watched the video, it's actually quite, for me, it's very surprising to see actually we have used some natural dyes. I'm just wondering, does it cost a lot to use natural dye?
Of course, it is expensive than the most common colors, natural dyes and colors we're getting from the suppliers. Though it is expensive, but actually it depends on the brands, like how they want the product. For example, in the European market, they are very cautious about the sustainable materials. If you could see, like they had a plan in Europe that by 2021, not the product itself, but also the packaging throughout the whole Europe, they had an initiative that they want to change the packaging from this plastic material to organic based material. So Europeans, they're very cautious about what they're wearing. And like, so for that market, there are brands which actually, for example, Ralph Lauren, Tommy Hilfiger, these are the brands actually who are currently working. Plus, from America, there is A&F, Abercrombie and Fitch. They want actually sustainable things. Even for Next UK, we are doing a lot of sustainable fabrics. So it depends. If the brands are paying us the sufficient amount that we can contribute to this sustainable change, we actually take the orders from them. Yeah. Right.
So can I understand it as the European market actually concern more on the natural dyes or the usage of sustainable material, right, compared to the other countries?
Right, you can say that. You can say that.
Okay. Okay. So on the other hand, does it come with the demand first or the supply first? Are you getting, I mean, are you supplying the materials because you see there is a demand, or you supply first? Before
actually, this industry is based on demand based. Okay, so for example, since we are not in retailing, okay, for example, the retailers, they're supply based. Okay, they're also, you could say that they're demand based, but what they do, they fill their retail shops with the statistics they get their customers like, and then they put up new products, new innovative products, which customers might like, or maybe they might ignore, right? So based on that, we actually get the orders from the retailers. Yeah.
Okay, understood. We also have one question in the chat from Dr. Lau.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Zubair, in your opinion, what is the level of awareness among consumers, especially in Asia, on fast or slow fashion? I think most consumers are aware and concerned about general sustainability issue, but might not fully understand the impact of fast or slow fashion.
Okay, I would like to thank Dr. Lau again, because you are actually asking very important questions, which I'm also liking, and a lot of us should know. So this is true that the awareness among the consumers is still not visible, how the awareness is visible among the manufacturers. But I could say there is a reason. If you ask me what's happening in my country, I can answer that since we are a country that is actually currently a developing country. We are a developing country. So just few years ago, we were, for example, if you ask me, in 2009, our GDP, for example, income per capita was only $500, right? Now it's $2,500, okay? But you could see that the people, when in an economy, most of the people are under poverty, or a maximum amount of people don't have sufficient money to spend on slow fashion. I think they will never understand the impact of it. They will never understand, because what they want, they need to, they will go and they will buy the cheapest clothing they will get from the market. And this is the reason one third of the industry in my country, in textile industry, they actually contribute to our only our country. They're fulfilling the needs of our people, because they are, for example, you could say these are the companies who don't actually focus on green initiatives. But though our economy is now an export-based economy, we are exporting most of the goods outside the country. So I think outside our country, if you think about, just now I shared with Dr. Serene that Europeans are cautious about it. In that market, there is awareness. Consumers are getting more aware about it. So for example, in Malaysia, I have seen, a lot of them stop using this plastic straws, and they're going to the shops, they're looking for the steel straws and the straws created from bamboo, right? So why it is happening? Because we are in Malaysia, you guys are living somewhere where this awareness comes from university, it's coming from schools, it's coming from your parents. When you turn on the channel, you see people are driving for a good change. This way, I think it will also develop in my country, but it will take some time. Whenever, for example, you have policy in a country that actually contribute as a pro-development policy, as a pro-development society, whereby most of the people are above the poverty line, that time, I think this kind of slow fashion industry and understanding of this kind of slow fashion industry will enhance. Yeah. You're welcome, Salah.
Yeah, any questions from the audience? Yeah, there are one more question from there. Okay. Hey, Zubair, I want to ask something about the supply chain.
Okay.
So how you manage convey the message of sustainability to your supplier?
Yeah. Okay. So basically, regarding the supplies we are getting, there are forms of supplies. For example, supply chain, it consists of your direct materials, and also there are materials that are general materials we buy directly from my country. Okay, and there are materials that we actually import from outside the country. Okay, so whenever we actually pick our suppliers, there are parameters. There are some sort of categories that the suppliers must meet, which is like, we see, like, for example, where is he getting his supplies from? If he needs to be my supplier, how I'm cautious that, okay, he needs to have these certifications, he need to be focused on sustainability. If he's doing it, how is his labor condition in his factory? We see these parameters before we onboard them, and we have our researchers in the field, those who go to the supplier's office and to the supplier's factory and see the condition, working condition they're in now, they're in line, if they're in lining with these initiatives, if the labor condition is good. For instance, we're going to a retail shop and we are buying our attires. It's a very simple task to do. But when you see that these clothings, apart from Bangladesh, it is coming from Vietnam, it is coming from Pakistan, it is coming from Sri Lanka, it is coming from China and India, and a lot of them are working in a very poor condition. I have one tragic story about this factory. This factory building was collapsed and more than 4,000 workers died in that factory. So you can imagine like what can be the working condition of these people whereby they have risked their life and working it and supplying it to companies like us, right? So we are very careful about it, and how we choose our suppliers is based on those parameters. There are certifications and there are parameters they need to meet, which also comes from the brands as well. That brands also, they have also that foresights that I also see where my suppliers is getting his supplies from. Yeah. This way actually we are doing. Yeah.
Thank you, Zubair. Thank you. Very good answer. What's a Rana Plaza? I think the chat box they mentioned Rana.
Rana Plaza is one
Yes,
of the
Rana Plaza,
tragedy
right.
happened.
Right, Muhammad Taki Asif, you have said the right thing. Yes, Rana Plaza. Only you will be shocked that only 37 people were accountable for this disaster, for this tragic history, but 4,000 people died. Can you imagine? Like, so this is what is actually happening in this industry, and we don't even know. We don't even acknowledge these facts. Okay, so I think as manufacturers and also as consumers, we have lots of things to do, lots of way to contribute in these initiatives. First, we could say you can establish these green initiatives in your home, in your school. For example, in tailors, I'm actually lucky that I have studied in a good university. You see how the garbage system in tailors, for example, they put red, green, and yellow, for example, garbage system. So somewhere you put the plastic and you put the papers in somewhat. So this way, actually, the initiatives comes along in practice. When you go to the shop, I recommend you guys, if you have the ability, please, of course, you guys are tailorians, you guys have it. So focus on the slow fashions. I think it will actually, somehow it will contribute to the demand of the market, and eventually it will come to the manufacturers. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zubair. I think all of us have our role to play to help the world to become more sustainable. As consumer, as long as we put our demand to more green, innovative, then the suppliers or the manufacturer like you can help us to meet the kind of demand, right?
Right.
So together we are able to produce a more sustainable environment. Today we are very, very honored to have you together with us in this morning to share a lot of insight on the green innovations. I believe we learned a lot about the practices, about the innovations happen in the textile industry, and we know about our part, and hopefully with these sessions created some awareness to all of us, and also to build a better country, a better world, right? Thank you all the participants to ask the questions, to join the sessions. I hope it is very useful to you and very insightful. Thank you once again, Mr. Zubair.
Yes, you're welcome, guys, for organizing this session. And I think as family business, those who are the new entrepreneurs will be coming from tailors. And I would recommend, like, as family business, those who have family business, you guys as a family, you guys can talk about this is sustainability, how whatever business you guys are doing, I'm 100% sure there are ways to contribute in these initiatives, and we do it together. Yeah, that will be from me. I would want to see this kind of events more from tailors. And to be honest, it was great connecting with the tailorians again after 1 year, I guess. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lin.
Thank you. We will end the session right now. See you soon, Mr. Zubair.
See you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.